Hi, welcome to the section all about energy and attitude, the two most important qualities that you can bring to any sale and in fact your whole sales career. Let's talk about energy first. Now we all have the same amount of time every week, 168 hours in fact, but energy is way more complex than that. It actually varies with the time of day, your time of life, the state of your mind and your private life, even the weather. So you have to make sure that you keep the energy you've got focused on where it's going to do the most good for you. Not every hour in the day or the week is the same. And the game is about how you use your energy, not about how you use your time. If you work all the time, for instance, then you won't succeed. You'll die, and when you do, you'll be very unhappy. Whereas on the other hand, if you spend all your high energy hours taking naps and chilling out, then you still won't succeed. In fact, you need to assign your prime energy hours to your most valuable work. The rest of the time, you spend renewing your energy through learning, enjoyment, friendships, family, and all the real reasons that you work in the first place. Now, the reason this is vital in sales is that the amount of energy that goes into a project and how it's focused is actually what determines whether the sale succeeds or not. There's a lot of difference between, for instance, a very energetic fly, buzzing all over the place, and a very relaxed grizzly bear who owns the forest it lives in. We all know which one we'd take most seriously if we came across them. You can increase the impact of your energy by being a bear, not a fly. You need to focus your energy on what you want to achieve, not just be in continual emotion. Put the weight of your brain and your will behind what's important to you. Another way of increasing your energy effectiveness is by looking your best, as we had mentioned before. This reduces the amount of energy you have to expend convincing people that you're always the best or that your product is the best. And it does this by exploiting a cognitive bias that we all have called the halo effect. This is a tendency for us to assume that people we know and people we think are attractive are better at everything and more trustworthy and generally better, nicer, more intelligent people. That's not necessarily true, but it is the way we all perceive people. And so it's very important that you get that fact onto your side. When you're looking for stakeholders within a customer organization, you should seek out the highest ranked individuals. And that's because their energy is most valuable because it has a multiplier associated with it. That multiplier is the ability to delegate. They control the energy of many people, and that multiplies their own energy. Always look for ways to increase or multiply your energy within a sale. It gets us around that limiting hard fact of us all having the same 168 hours per week. A brilliant idea project with no energy behind it will fail, and it'll take you with it. Your main job is to spark energy donations from other people within the project, within the sale, by showing the right example, showing enthusiasm, and answering any questions. Put down doubts, because doubts are what cause energy to leak out of the sale. Now, we tend to measure opportunities using an estimated size of the deal multiplied by some guess of the chances of success. And this gives you an imaginary figure that goes into your pipeline calculation. So, for instance, a $9 million deal with a 50% chance of going ahead is usually put in at $4.5 million. Personally, I think it makes no sense. So I would suggest that when it comes to estimating the chances of success for your own deals, you forget about that and look instead at the energy going into the project and estimate the power of an individual by his or her stated interest. If that's high enough, then the whole figure, the whole 9 million, goes into the pipeline. And if it isn't, then you work at improving it and don't count it until it is good enough. And then you put the whole amount in. It's all a numbers game. The more energy you put into your projects, the higher the chance of success. Focus your energy on knowing your stakeholders, getting them the answers they need so that no energy is lost, networking with the outliers, the people on the edge of the project who can affect things, knowing your own numbers and what is value for every stakeholder in the project and your own company. If there's no resonance within a sale or within a customer, then look for a new customer who does show interest. And by resonance, I mean that you're getting as much energy out of the sale as you're putting in. They're as pleased to see you as you are to see them. You have to have resonance within the sale, or the constant energy drain will just bleed you dry. The sale will probably fail anyway, because you can't sell to people who aren't buying. So that's all about energy. And now let's talk about attitude. A positive attitude is infectious. Psychology has demonstrated this through the work of people like Martin Seligman. Enthusiasm for your product, customers, business, and the sale will pay off. When the project gets bogged down, as it surely will, everyone will look to you, and even if you don't have all the answers, you must remain positive and upbeat about the process. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to know where to look for them, and most importantly, have faith that they can and will be found. I remember asking a very successful salesman from a rival company why he was always so happy when he clearly had a product that was not as good as the one I was selling. He laughed at me and said, if it was just about the product, then we would all drive around in BMWs, we'd all live in the same house, and we'd all like HP sauce. He was right, of course. Your customers look to you for the reassurance they're doing the right thing. They don't necessarily know what the right thing is or will want the same thing. So you have to give that message to them at all times. We have within our brain structure things called mirror neurons, and they allow us to sympathize with other people. When we see someone eating a lemon, for instance, our mouth waters just as theirs does. We mirror their behaviors. As a sales leader, you need to get the group within the customer and within your own company entrained to your positive attitude. You have to be more professional and more positive than anyone else on the sale. If you think that sounds difficult, then don't worry, as I will show you how to do it in later sections. Now, I don't mean you have to be an extrovert and go around leading everybody in community singing all the time. You can be solidly positive and be introverted too. The point is to keep the flame burning and challenge any negativity before it ever takes hold. Always be the person leading the sale. Always be the most energetic, most focused person on the sale.